I think it's time you tell the story about the knife.
The knife?
The knife? Well,
the one in Portland?
Yeah. Because I said not that episode, but you might as well.
All right.
You seemed a little disappointed that you didn't. I didn't really want you to tell it on that episode. I figured we'd save it for another episode because I know it's going to be like a fucking 80-minute story about how I almost killed you. And
he didn't almost kill me. Okay, he didn't almost fucking.
Yeah, I fucking did. I could
He
have.
could have though. That's the thing. I was literally millimeters away from being slit, like my throat being just. Yeah, with a razor knife. One of those husky flip out, carpenter razor knives. Scary as fuck, man. We were outside of Mary's.
That's a pretty famous stripper club, if you didn't know that.
Yeah. Feed the bucks.
That was the night that the woman looked at my I think that was the night the woman looked at my this tattoo. She said, "Oh, you musician?" in the dance booth, and she was like probably 50s, blonde, not horrible looking, but definitely like at my age, I was like, eh. And I was like, "Yeah, I play guitar." And she's like, "Oh, well, maybe if you're lucky, I'll let you play my clitar." I did not, by the way. I did not play her clitar at all.
Oh, good for you.
That fucked me up. That disturbed me.
Give into temptation.
There was no temptation. I had no interest or want.
Well, this was more of a novelty place. It's not exactly someplace that you go to for that thing.
Yeah. No.
This is more of like, it's like the oldest strip club in the United States, basically. So you got to go. It's fun.
They didn't have Captain Morgan, though. And I think that's part of the
Sailor
problem.
Jerry.
I think that's part of the problem of why I got the way I did, because I didn't necessarily get that far when I was drinking Captain. Wild.
Well, didn't we start the night at ground control? Or was that a different night?
Okay, so the night that we went to ground control and got really fucked up, I think that's the only place we went that night, because I don't think there's any way we could have fucking functioned after that. I don't
know, man.
I mean, we were going
up. Strong.
We were trying to not be fucked up, dude. When I went up there, or whatever happened, I think I had to go up and like with you. That was you, right? I had to go up and like, I'm actually fine. I know we've drank a lot.
Time, you've already gone through a bottle in 1 hour.
Yeah, I was pushing it to remain as cool as possible. I was fucked.
I felt good.
I mean, I felt great, but I was pretty fucked.
I don't think I was fucked. We were kicking ass at games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
We were keeping our minds busy, doing our thing, having a good time. Really great place to have some drinks, get some decent bar food, and play some awesome old-ass arcade games. And that was the first place that this motherfucker, he never understood how pinball was supposed to be played with multiple players. Like, he didn't get that.
Wow, man. You're taking my pinball card away from me. But it's true. I did not know.
It blew my mind. And then the next thing you know, we're having a good old time kicking ass at some pinball, really understanding how the game is played. Because each pinball machine is very, very similar, but like they all have their little thing that you have to do next based on what lights up. And the screen tells you what you need to be doing. You got to pay attention to all the bullshit on the board.
Right.
Yeah, I like pinball a lot. I still think that you and I should like build pinball machines and arcade games together. Anyways, well, back to the story of you almost cutting my throat. So we're fucked up. I mean, it's bad. And I had this really awesome vaporizer when like vaporizers were just coming out for flour.
Yeah, it was like the first one that you could trust. It was expensive. It was
dope. I loved it. It was
what was the brand?
PAX.
PAX.
The PAX.
Original,
vaporizer.
Right? Like it was the original PAX, I think.
I might have had the 2. Or no, it was the 1, I think. It had the oven on the bottom, but I had this dope ass R2D2 skin.
Yeah, you did.
It was awesome. Like where R2's eye is where the light lit up.
Do you still have it?
It was awesome. Yeah, I have it. It's out in the work box right now.
Nice.
I think I have everything for it. I I got to clean that thing out. That's a
Right.
tough job at this point. It's been sitting for years.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it'll, take a charge or whatever.
Right.
But
Battery
anyways,
can be
I was
fucked.
very happy with this thing.
It was
Like,
it
very
was
happy.
beautiful.
Loved it. Easy to tote around. Didn't really smell too much. Like, it was good.
And wasn't this before you put the R2 wrap on there? Because I thought I scratched the actual anodized aluminum or whatever casing made out of.
Yeah, it might have been. So he's messing around with it, and next thing I know, he drops it
right on the concrete. We're like in a park or something.
And I'm going, what the fuck, dude? And I'm getting pissed. And then he pushes me up against the building, and it was in the alley in between the what's it called there, Mary's, and that other joint right next to us. And he had this fucking knife right up against here, man. Like his arm against my chest with the knife.
I was
right
doing
there.
like pow, pow, pow. I remember making that motion over and again. That's the thing. I was conscious enough. I remember it. I remember this. I remember doing this.
I was pissed. I was real pissed. I don't think I talked to you for the rest of that night. Or maybe I got over it quickly. I don't know. I knew that we were fucked up and it didn't mean anything.
I'm just lucky I didn't hurt you.
Me off. Yeah.
That would have sucked.
Reminds me of that time that you smacked me right in the back of the head, full force, when we were playing Golden Tee. When we were out on Stars.
I didn't smack you in the back of the head, did I? I thought I smacked you across the face.
It pissed me off. No, right in the back of the head. It rung my bell. Like I was like,
I don't exactly remember that. I remember you being really pissed off at me about something.
I was in the middle of doing my swing, and I was like, yeah, because I had done an awesome swing. And
you were kicking the shit out of me.
Wham!
I just remember I was far too drunk.
Right in the back of my head. And of course, he's shit-faced at the same time.
I was hammered.
Douchebag in front of all the people that were there as well.
I don't remember who was there.
Yeah, the skaters, man.
Nice.
Yeah. No, it pissed me off. See what this guy does? You get a little bit of lick in.
Yo, can I add today's like day 700 or 701 since I've had a drink?
Really?
Yep. End of this year will be 2 years.
Good for you.
End of this year will be 2 years.
Good for you, man. That's really awesome.
Yep. So that doesn't absolve me of my past crimes, but no, I have learned from that. And as you can see, I did not make good choices while drinking.
And as you can see, I'm an awesome, understanding friend.
Yes, that too.
That is willing to understand that I've got a really dope ass buddy right here who
has a bad drinking problem at the time.
He had some issues, but hey,
do you remember the night staying up all night on the bus crying and shit? I was crying. Dave might have cried. And then I went into the hotel room. You might not know the full story of this. We were going into Memphis. I was on a Stars tour. And Dave was there. No. Wait, I'm sorry. You weren't there. This was Star Trek. And Dave was on Star Trek with me.
Yeah, I was not. I was like, I don't remember.
And we pulled into Memphis. And we were crying. Like we were having real talk and shit got heavy in my direction. I put some heavy shit in his direction. There was some crying. And I get in my hotel room. It's like 7 a.m. when we pull in. And I'm like, I'll see you guys later on Beale Street. So I go into the hotel room. I'm like, I'm going to take a shower before we go to bed. So I get in the shower. And it's this really nice sit-down shower with a fucking heavy spray. And I turn it on. I sit down. I'm like,
love it.
I'm just going to close my eyes. Give me minutes. I fucking all of a sudden I jolt awake and I'm like, why does everything hurt? And I look at my fucking hands and they are the most wrinkled, swollen, opaque white you have ever seen. My feet are the same. There's like that much water in the bottom of the shower. I go out to the room. Now, mind you, I got in somewhere between 6 and 7 in the morning from my best recollection. It was 10:30. I fell asleep in that shower for 3 fucking hours. And for whatever reason, they had a really great water heating system. the water never got cold, so it never snapped me awake. It was just me coming to after a bunch of the alcohol wore out of my system. So there I am, fully naked, daylight really going down. I'm like, oh, pulling down the sheets and just like carefully getting into bed, and just all that wrinkling like in the covers. It was like, eh. And then when I finally woke up like at 4, 5, 6, or 7 or whatever it was, I'm like, I'm not going out on Beal. Because as much as I was a bad drinker, it was really hard for me. I would drink so much the night before. I usually couldn't do a back-to-back because I think I was like right on that cusp multiple times, if not just over the cusp of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. No, I know I've gotten alcohol poisoning multiple
and done
times
nothing
in my
about
life.
it, right? Because
What's that?
I've done nothing about it except try to ride it out, right? Like you didn't go to the hospital and get filled with fluids. You just like for one day, I know for the one day for a fact back in the day when we were at the cabin next door, I laid in the fucking tub for a whole afternoon, hungover and fucked up, not feeling good at all.
Yeah.
But that coolness of that old tub, I think it might be old metal. Anyways, it's not plexi or anything because it holds a chill.
Did I tell you about the story about me and my old man drinking in Massachusetts?
So, well, back when you lived out there, I assume?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we were going to Salem the next day.
Okay.
Right. So, and there's some pictures of me and the family. They're on my mom's page.
What on the next?
On mine.
What on the next
of
day
the next
in Salem?
day? And like you can see, my face is like all pale, and I'm still just, smiling this fake ass smile. Like I don't want to be here, but
hi, I'm currently dying inside right now.
Yeah, dude. So, the old man and I, mom and dad slept in our bed on the first floor because dad can't do the stairs, brain injury and the whole balance and all that. So Jess and I are upstairs, but before we go to bed, my old man and I are going shot for shot, and we drink like 2 bottles or a bottle and a half of the Dr. McGillicuddy's butter. What is it called there?
Butter schnapps, butter rum, butter.
You know what I'm trying to say, son of a bitch.
It's not Rumplemints. It's not
butterscotch.
Butterscotch
schnapps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
butterscotch schnapps.
Yeah. Butterscotch schnapps. Butterscotch Dr. McGillicuddy's.
Yummy. Anyways, I mean, really yummy to a point.
So the old man and I are just shooting the shit, telling stories back and forth, going shot for shot. We drink all this booze, and in the middle of the night, I come downstairs into my kitchen, and I'm like, as I'm coming down the stairs, I know I have to puke. And it's probably like 3:00 in the morning, maybe 4:00 in the morning. And as I'm going down the stairs, I'm going, and I do one of these, and as I'm puking, it's spraying like projectile spraying everywhere. And then I get into the bathroom, and that turns into like a crime scene as well. So, I puke a ton of puke, and it's like black puke, and it's terrible. I can barely move, and I'm like looking around. I'm cleaning up as I can. I think I've got everything spick and span. Totally good, but apparently I had forgotten about the kitchen. So I go up to bed, I'm all cleaned up. I get back into bed with the wife, and then I come down in the morning, and it's like later morning, and we were supposed to leave early. So Jess and my mom are looking at me, and they're like, oh, so pissed. And I said, what's wrong? Mom and Jess go, well, we've been picking up your vomit for the past couple hours. That was all over the entire kitchen, and it's black, and all you can smell is butterscotch and booze. And then I'm like, where's dad? And she said, and my mom goes, well, he's on my shit list right now too, because he woke up in the middle of the night to go take a piss, but he turned and just pissed on the bed. And there's one of my piss stories for you, folks.
Beautiful. It was so well
Dude,
executed.
it was so disgusting.
Wow.
There's just my dad's piss all over my bed, and I've got one of those Tempur-Pedic mattresses.
Oh
So
no.
it's like, I'm so thankful we had the wet protector thing that covers it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thankful. That way it didn't seep in there. But man, oh, it was a hell of a mess, apparently. Yeah. I didn't have to pick it up.
God damn.
Like,
God damn.
yeah. So that was a pretty nasty time. And then we were at Salem that day, and Jess is going, "Oh, I bet you want to go to sleep right now, don't you?" And my mom's doing that same kind of shit. And I'm
Right.
like, "Fuck you guys. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, it's so awful. My stomach is just turning. I'm going, can we go get some food? Something real greasy."
My
I just need
stomach's turning
something.
thinking about it, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep. The old man and I, we were in rough shape, but he didn't really have a hangover. I had a hangover, like liquor poisoning kind of hangover. Dad doesn't get hangovers now.
I remember you telling me that a while ago.
Yeah, since his accident, he says he's never had a hangover.
Well, just like a comic book, most accidents result in a superpower. You know what I mean? What else can I say?
Oh, geez.
I mean,
man.
come on, man. If you like your drink, that's like the best superpower you can fucking have. And if there's one thing I know about your pops, he does like his drink. He stirs it with his fingers. He's fucking world class.
He sticks mostly with like the twisted tea nowadays.
Is he really?
It's easy.
Shit.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't
Grab
do
it
like,
off
I
the
feel like,
can.
wasn't he a Crown and Coke guy?
Beam and Coke.
Beam and Coke. That's right. Beam me up.
And he will still drink that, but man, I'm telling you, it gets him in trouble. It's because, like he starts drinking and he wants to drink more and more of it.
Right.
Well, at least with like the twisted teas, they don't like have a serious alcohol content.
Right. And he probably has to piss so much that even to get a good buzz, like I remember that was the problem with me and non-liquor drinks, is that I'd have to drink them fast, or I never really, I don't know, got to where I thought I wanted to be, but I remained in the pocket, which was probably for the best.
Yeah.
Whereas big time liquor drinkers like your dad and myself or you, when we drink that kind of stuff, it like keeps us more at a level instead of like, because we can drink liquor for a good period of time and be at that level, but then hit that one shot.
Yeah.
Sayonara.
Oh yeah.
It's the same when you're bowling, playing video games. You can be on a fucking streak. Like you have found the secret sauce, the secret level, the secret blood alcohol content level, and you just fuck it. You're like, I gotta try to stay at this level, and you try to stay at this level, and then it's shit coming out of your mouth. And,
oh yeah.
Yep. No, that's how. Yeah. But no, that's I'm thankful that I quit drinking, because I still to this day, the last couple of weeks, I've been having weird dreams about it, waking up feeling guilty and shit.
Yeah. Turn into the skillet. Your brain on the skillet.
Crackling eggs, baby. It's all just runny yolk up here. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. True story. All mush.
So I've been wanting to talk to you about a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been something that I've been watching like my entire life, and I keep going back to it, and it just keeps getting better and better and better as I watch it. Princess Bride. I can't get enough of that fucking movie, man.
Classic.
Very classic. Very classic. A lot of amazing actors. Great cast there. So I was thinking about it. I think I have a thing for fencing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say for Jenny, but okay.
No. Actually, I really don't like her. Yeah, Robin Wright. No, I'm just not a big fan.
Not a big fan.
No, never have been. And I think, she just put a bad taste in my mouth from Jenny.
Worst villain in movies I can remember in that age range and year.
And I didn't like her in the Wonder Woman movies.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, really?
Not enough to know that she was in them.
Yeah, she's
I might have
a
watched
fellow
the first
Amazon.
one. Okay. All right.
Like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no, but like, why her? Sorry, I just don't
she's
see
like
her
the
as...
one that trained her.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Yep, she's supposed to be like the best warrior amongst the Amazons.
Should have been the chick who played Xena. Should have been Lucy Lawless.
Yeah,
that would have been pretty good, right?
Like, I liked her.
That could have been pretty good. I don't understand why it would be her. She doesn't strike me as Amazonian.
I don't know.
Okay. Anyways,
I've got a real thing for fencing because one, I love that scene in Princess Bride. Can't get enough of that.
Okay.
With him and Inigo Montoya. Indigo or
Inigo?
Inigo.
No.
Hold on.
We gotta look this. Inigo Montoya.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya.
Inigo. Yeah.
You killed my father.
Yeah.
Prepare to die. Yeah. Mandy Patinkin. Anyways.
Mandy Patinkin.
It's his birthday today.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought you just made up a word. Is that his fucking real, the actor's name?
You didn't know that was... Yes. Yes, his name is Mandy Patinkin. Really? Oh, man. Educating you today.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's awesome. But yeah, there's a lot of really great things about that movie. Tons of great sword play. Hold on.
So when you say you have a thing for fencing, I gotta ask.
Yeah, so like I love...
Would you take fencing courses?
Zorro. What's that?
Would you take fencing courses?
Well, funny you should mention that.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
Signed up.
Well, I signed us up for a class. Yeah, anyways, I really like fencing. I think it's really awesome. There's a lot of different things that you have to go through, like the Carrie Elways and Mandy Patinkin. They went through months and months of rigorous fencing lessons, and every minute during the off time on the set, they had their fencing coaches, and they would be just constantly going for it. And you can really see it in the film.
Absolutely.
Another one that I really love is The Mask of Zorro, or the Zorro movie. Really great fencing in that as well. Another one, the Musketeers, the one with what's his name there? Charlie Sheen.
Chris O'Donnell?
Kiefer Sutherland. And what's his name there?
Chris O'Donnell.
Platt?
Oliver Platt. It had the song All for One
and Chris O'Donnell.
Love. Oh yeah, Chris O'Donnell was in it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
Chris
crazy.
O'Donnell.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of really great fencing in that one too.
Now, I believe I just read, going back to The Princess Bride, that some fencing coach, teacher, famous someone, I believe, shows Wesley's main fight because it's like the perfect example. Or maybe Carrie Elways was actually talking about this recently, that someone shows it for his class, like this famous person, because it is like the perfect example of some sort of style of fencing or some shit. I think I read an article about
what
this
they
recently.
do in that scene, in that big scene with the two of them, they use almost every style of fencing.
Maybe that's what it is.
They use many different, and that's why they're talking about it during the fight scene. They say, "Oh, I will use my Kappa fail. Oh, if you use Kappa fail, I will have to use this," and then blah blah blah. And just so you know, I am not left-handed. You know, I mean, the fact that they did left-handed and right-handed
Right.
and were doing that well with it as actors, as is actors, dude, they do an amazing job.
I truly believe that in this day and age, speaking of that, when it wasn't a rush to get out as many movies as a studio could per year, and they really only, technology only limited them, and budgetary constraints only limited them to say we're going to make 8 possible blockbusters this year instead of 1632, whatever they're pumping out now.
Yeah.
I think that there was more time and care spent in crafting movies and properly acclimating actors to movies and things that skills they're going to be doing. Like, I think, for instance, you would see it most recently on the John Wick pictures with the training that Keanu goes through. But
Oh yeah,
most of these
absolutely.
movies don't have that kind of strange thing. Lord of the Rings movies. I'm sure The
Yep,
Hobbit falls in there,
absolutely.
but definitely the Lord of the Rings I can speak of and know for a fact.
Yep.
Matrix, I believe they did a lot of
Yeah.
pre-production. I think that because they're trying to pump out so many movies a year, we're actually missing out on better quality cinema. And I think that's something
I agree.
that we're missing. And I think that's what really strikes me about what you said is that it seems very apparent that we're not getting that kind of quality and level of craftsmanship from our
No, I would
actors these
totally agree
days.
with that.
Let's go in front of a green screen. We're not going to build a set. Well, yeah, but here, this will be a rocky outcropping. This green lump here and this. It's like it's not the same. They can't physically act with the set. They're not being properly trained. Well, we can get around that editing or effects. You know, we can make it look better by adding this or that instead of, I bet your ass there's fucking hundreds of feet of footage of just those fight scenes so that they could get the best take out of it, because it's pretty much a continuous take for a lot of it in large sections
that
of it.
scene over and over and over
Right.
again. It's a choreographed thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, exactly. It's
And-
like here's another one: Star Wars lightsaber duels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And that's another fencing. Like, I love that. Love those. Especially like when you start getting into like the episode 1 and up, then you start getting into those really intense lightsaber battles where they do use the CGI. But even in like Phantom Menace with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, those guys are, I'm like the guy who plays Darth Maul, he's a stunt guy, or that's what he originally was supposed to be doing. And he does all of that shit.
What other franchise
Like
movie from the early 2000s was he from?
X-Men.
Nice.
Yep. He plays Toad.
Bonus point.
Yeah.
Nice.
Eats a pigeon.
Triple bonus points.
Yep.
But yes, stunt guy, acrobat, aerialist, artist.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, does a really great job. And even Ewan McGregor does an amazing job. Like, he did a lot of lessons with fencing and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But yeah, The Princess Bride, man, I just love that movie. And did you know that they tried to make it like 4 times before that and it failed over and over and over again? They couldn't get it right. Did you know that Andre the Giant's part was supposed to be done by Arnold Schwarzenegger in an earlier film? Yeah, I know. There's all sorts of weird shit, and I had no idea until I saw this documentary thing that Carrie Elways put together.
Interesting.
It's amazing. Really, really good. But yeah, it's really cool film, and it's based off of an actual book, Princess Bride.
Right.
What was it? Who's the author of that? Hold on, I think I got it. William Goldman. That's right. So he wrote it for his daughters, and Rob Reiner read it as a boy.
Yep.
And loved it, and he wanted to recreate it, and he did a successful job. Yeah,
I'd say
I dig it. Billy Crystal, there's like a ton of footage of Billy Crystal doing some like rude, crude adult humor
Oh yeah.
as the Magic Max. Yeah. Yeah. No. Definitely dig that movie.
Great movie. Andre the Giant. Yeah.
What did they
Iconic. I
say?
couldn't
He could
imagine it being
drink like,
Schwarzenegger.
oh yeah, I can't. No way. Especially from back then, like his accent is so crazy thick back then. Doing that in that character, I don't see it.
If there were ever some test footage, I'd love to see it, but I couldn't subscribe to a whole movie of it.
No.
Arnold's good in
not.
certain things. You know what I just saw recently? Speaking of Arnold, just branching off, the one where he gets pregnant.
Oh yeah.
I'd never seen that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito's the guy putting it in his belly. Yeah.
That movie's fucked up. But that's the kind of movies that he should, Last Action Hero, Kindergarten Cop, Terminator.
I love that last.
Every movie that Schwarzenegger's been in has been iconic, and I couldn't see anyone else doing the role.
No,
and so I'm glad he didn't do this.
They wanted Sylvester Stallone, right?
Yeah, I think so.
What was it, Terminator?
It's something. There was a couple of people, and they were worried about people being too emotive, and that's why, and Arnold too, because that's why he has shaved eyebrows in the first movie.
That's right.
No eyebrows whatsoever.
Yeah, to make him look like, yeah.
That way you couldn't be like, can't register surprise and shit. They wanted him to be emotionless, like a machine.
Yeah, and I believe he even takes credit for a lot of things, like thinking about things like that for his character. I remember seeing an interview somewhere. Maybe it was with what's his name there, the British talk show host there that I love.
Oh, Graham Norton.
Yeah, Graham Norton. Oh God, that guy's hilarious. Yeah, he was talking about it on there, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder how much of that's true.
I mean, that's the thing. As people get older,
yeah, does the story change?
The story, yeah, and I mean that's the thing. I watched a documentary a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was about Atari. I think it was about a video game system, but like whatever I was watching it about, 4 people back to back, the way they clipped it, took credit for something big at the company, and then it cuts in with like the 5th guy. He's like, actually, this one guy's like, and that's why I think it was my idea. And then these other couple people that are right after that are adamant it was their idea. And then this other guy comes in, actually, it was this guy's idea, and talks about someone completely different. And then it cuts to him, the 6th person. He's like, yeah, it was actually, and this is why it was my idea. And I'm just like,
I don't know who to believe.
It's confusing. Yeah, but I mean, that's how memory and age goes. Because, they could have been definitely part of it. They could have been in the room when the dude had the idea. And then there's some people that'll just take ideas to take them. Why not? That sounds like a great idea. Mine. Oh, a toaster that also fucking rubs your feet. Mine. The Snuggie. I'm sure that's a stolen idea.
Yeah.
Most good ideas are stolen. Electricity.
Yeah. That actually was stolen.
I know. But think about it. The telephone. The telephone wasn't Alexander Graham Bell, bro. They lied. Stolen.
How about the light bulb?
Stolen.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Edison did not make the first light bulb. He actually came up with the idea to keep it enclosed with the glass, and that's what made it last a little longer. But the original idea for the filament being heated up was done by 2 brothers, and I feel like maybe they were out of Schenectady.
It's a possibility.
I get these every day. Our boss sends out an email, and it like has some weird fact.
Things to be proud of about your local area.
Well, no, just about anything in general. Honestly, It could be about somebody from, Pittsburgh, France. Yeah.
Fucking A. France.
Yeah.
Nice. So you reading anything good these days?
I am. I
Yeah.
am. So well, it's something that I've been going back and forth with. Well, for a couple years now, I've been reading this book. I kind of go all over the place in this book because it's very much like that.
Right.
So it's by Nick Offerman. Actually, you all know him, from The Office and all those great movies that he's done too.
The
He's
Office.
pretty awesome. Oh, not The Office. Sorry,
Parks and
Recs.
Rec.
Yeah, Parks and Rec. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Swanson. Yeah. So, anyways, Nick Offerman. It's this book called "Good Clean Fun," and it's basically a lot about his workshop. It has some actual like woodworking plans that you can work off of some of the things that his wood shop builds because he has like a legitimate business. This wood shop.
I've been
like
to the
he has
website.
a bunch of people working for him. Yeah, Jess got me the book.
Right.
Along with a really cool the card that it comes with is actually like a piece of wood about that big, really thin. It's like burned, engraved in like probably like a laser engraver or maybe a wood burner, however they do it, or maybe they even have like
a press, a heat press or something.
Well, like a brand.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. It has like the Nick Offerman wood shop and whatnot, and it is signed by Nick Offerman. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But it has all sorts of different things other than just woodworking. It like has different histories of woodworking. It has some funny anecdotes. It's really just a really great book. If you just want to read it, even if you're not a woodworker, you can read this thing and enjoy it.
Right?
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's funny. Have you ever heard him laugh? He's got
I've seen him in concert.
Yeah? Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Teresa and I saw him down in Connected Year Albany a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Like the that weird laugh that he does.
Yeah. No, he's funny shit.
Devious laugh.
He seems like that real man's man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he seems like a really cool dude, and he's got a bunch of other books that he has done as well. And he has like a full tutorial on how to build a really nice wooden canoe. Yeah,
nice. He was excellent in The Founder.
Yeah,
shows he's not one note.
No, absolutely not. And I remember him in Deadwood.
You remember him in Sin City?
Yes. Oh,
one of the guys talking about the car.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Weird, right?
Yeah. Another one that he was in. Yeah, because Deadwood was like an early role for him. Yeah,
I haven't seen Deadwood, but I imagine it would have been.
Oh, you get like a full frontal of him too, like bare ass, wiener hanging and everything in the first season. Yep.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So I guess the question is, was he packing timber or what? You remember if he was like swinging from the trees, or was he like just
I think
chill?
he was just a standard white guy.
Nice. Fuck yeah, dude.
You know.
Good.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Just standard
let's
white
not
guy.
make this guy too good. Let's not make him great. He's great, but let's not make him overboard.
Well, and in this role, like he's not in the Deadwood role. He is definitely not what's the word I'm looking for? He's definitely not a main character by any means, and he's not necessarily a good guy.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to take a look.
And then he's also in that show, the one about Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee.
Is he really?
Yeah, he plays the guy who gets the porno put onto the internet.
Of course he does. Great.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. So Seth Rogen is the dude who films it. He's the handyman that's doing the construction work on Tommy Lee's apartment at the time.
Right.
And then, yeah, he's the one that ends up getting the tape. And then, yeah.
And the rest was history.
Yeah, it's actually, I've seen a few episodes of the show. It's pretty funny. I just haven't really given it enough time,
right?
And dedicated to watch it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Offerman. And another role. So Miss Congeniality, that movie with Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
The second one, I didn't know that he was the bad guy in the second one.
I feel like I know I've watched. Maybe we did watch both this year, but I know I watched at least one of them earlier this year. It was I think it was the first one because it had Benjamin Bratt in it, but maybe he was in the second one too. And William Shatner, maybe?
They're both in both of them. Well, what's his name there? Wait,
I mean, this was definitely the first one because she's like a fucking badass operative and they have to make her a girl.
The second one, she's not.
Right. Well, they have to make her the girl because she's not girly enough for it or whatever.
Yeah,
so it was definitely the first one that I definitely remember seeing. But no, I'd watch the second one. I like Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's kind of like
Blindside. That was a really good movie.
She's kind of like America's sweetheart. Kind of like you can't say a bad thing bad about her.
The Net. What was another
Speed,
early one?
Of course, you said already, but I gotta say it again.
Demolition Man.
I don't. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I don't remember her in that, but I also don't really remember it.
She's a main character. She plays the love interest of Sylvester Stallone.
How about the one where she plays an alcoholic?
Oh yeah, Hope Floats.
No.
28 Days.
That's the one.
Yep.
That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. That
she
has
plays
some
it
funny
good.
That had some funny scenes.
Oh no,
in it
definitely.
Too.
And I mean that's the thing. She's always that quirky kind of comedy thing going, and it really works well for her.
What was that one movie where she plays somebody on the spectrum?
I don't know if I'm familiar with that.
Oh my goodness. And Bradley Cooper is the main guy who she's trying to go after, and I can't remember what her name is, and that's like the movie name too, I think. But anyways, yeah, she's like on the spectrum, and she went on a date with Bradley Cooper, and he realized like this girl is kind of crazy in his eyes. He didn't realize what was going on, and then he's like trying to shake her, and he's basically this camera guy for a news crew, and he's going around like the US and she's following him everywhere. Yeah, it can be pretty funny. It's a little sad too.
Sandy, gotta love her.
Yeah, Sandy B.
There was that movie with her, Ryan Reynolds, and Betty White. I don't remember what the actual movie was. I don't think I saw it, but there was a great like blooper or like kind of fake thing where they're like doing interviews on the set, and Betty White comes out and she doesn't remember that Ryan Reynolds is the star of the movie, and her and Sandra Bullock are getting along rather, and she like looks around, she's like, "Could you get me a tea or Coke or something like that?" He's like, and Sandra's like, "You get Betty White whenever she wants or whatever." It's just like. And she's just kind of like belittling him, and it was just like
I don't know if I've seen the movie, but yeah,
I don't think I've seen the movie,
about.
but the blooper for sure is just like it's that kind of same bubbly, quirky, funny.
I probably saw that on Facebook or something, something like that. Yeah,
good shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good feelings.
Yeah, old Sandy B.
Yeah.
See, we were with Nick Offerman a second ago, and magically worked our way over to Sandra Bullock. I don't know how we got there.
It's like, listen,
you're like, I don't know, man.
I don't know either, because this is the thing that I notice as I've been editing these episodes down is it's like being on an ADHD roller coaster.
Yeah.
It really is. You never know. You know when the thing starts, you don't know where it's going. You might look farther ahead on the track. You like the loop's coming up, but first there's a couple S turns you didn't even see coming.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I keep looking at the Ghostbusters garage behind you.
Yeah.
So I was watching Seinfeld today, and sure enough, it's the episode where Kramer goes into the fire department, into the fire station, and it's that station from the movie.
Right.
And yeah, he's trying to tell the firemen, if you take this route, because he's been listening onto the scanners, what routes they're taking to the fires. They're like, you're not getting there fast enough. You got to go this route. You got to do this. And they're like, we know what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And they all get a fire call and they run down, go down the pole and hop into the fire truck. And he's like, oh, the pole, right? And he's like, oh, I'm going to do this. So Kramer jumps down the pole, but he hits one of the firemen and knocks him out.
And then doesn't he get dressed up as a fireman and go on the fire call?
Yeah, so earlier on in that episode, he's like, I really wanted to be a fireman when I grew up. I wanted to be the guy on the back, steering that ladder, And sure enough, the guy that he knocks over, he says, what are you supposed to be doing? I'm supposed to be driving the ladder. And Kramer goes, puts on all of his gear and hops on there, and he's just driving like a douchebag the whole way through the city. It's hilarious.
I've seen the problem now that I have, because like obviously Michael Richardson there said some bad shit on stage, but watching old bloopers, he's a bit of a prick.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a very famous one, like multiple scenes where like Julia is fucking laughing or Jerry's laughing, and he's like this prickish, come on guys, come on, like like get over your bullshit, I'm a serious actor, let's go, kind of like, and it rubs me the wrong way because it comes off strong.
Oh really?
Yeah, like some real dickish shit, like borderline talking shit, and the way he's talking down to everybody, like this, like it shouldn't even be happening, kind of thing. It's kind of like, wow, he was a fucking personality before it, because this is a lot of shit. You never saw this stuff back in the day. There weren't DVDs, there weren't bonus features.
No,
you didn't see this shit aired on TV.
You're thinking like, oh, Kramer's like the best person on the show.
Yeah, no.
But in my mind, he's definitely the character.
I watched a clip, I think it might have just been yesterday, of some bloopers that I'd never seen before. And I was laughing, but like the first one or two, but you can see it on his face even when he's not saying like, come on, come on, come on. Because almost every time he says at least that, like he's basically, get your shit together. I don't have time for this kind of mentality or something. Like I'm a fucking amazing actor. This is bullshit. Kind of like it'll fucking turn you off the guy real quick. In that aspect, is Kramer. He will always be Kramer. He will always be a great character. But when I see those, I'm like, wow, this guy was really a fucking dickhead.
Yeah,
and it sucks because everybody else, like the clips that I was watching, were some of the more in-depth clips that I've seen of like the whole cast just fucking having a great time. Jason Alexander getting a good laugh. Fucking, they can't stop laughing. It was this one scene, and Kramer's just like, oh, like huffy and puffy about it. And I'm just like, wow, this guy was a bit of a fucking.
That sucks.
And meanwhile, that was his biggest role ever. And it was all just, it didn't go anywhere after that for him. Meanwhile, he's the fucking janitor in UHF. Like he started somewhere probably before that even, but you went from like what could have been your whole life of like little bit roles in comedy movies to being on the biggest syndicated fucking television program in the world. The biggest program then and in syndication now.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still technically in syndication on repeats on a lot of channels. I believe that's what it means.
Yeah, but biggest?
It's probably one of the biggest. I think it still probably draws a lot of viewers.
Yeah,
I would say
it
it
does.
parallels shows
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
a similar vein,
TBS
like
does it all
probably
the
like
time.
2.5 Men and I hate to say it, but Big Bang Theory. On that note, I'm sorry. Listen, I know you enjoy the show, and a lot of people do. And
Well, no, it's not okay.
I tried
I
again,
enjoy
bro. I
things
tried
of
from
the
the
show.
beginning. I tried from the beginning.
Yeah,
the
I
other
just
night.
started the beginning recently too, and I'm going, this is shit. But there's like when you get
Forced laugh
into some of the
tracks.
seasons, the things that I find that are pretty cool are like all of the things as
Easter
far
eggs.
as the boards and whatnot, like the physicist problems and whatnot. They actually have a physicist on payroll for the show doing all of these problems and teaching these guys everything. And they do quite a bit of work to get their role like accurate.
I get that. Fair enough. I think for me, I mean, like, because they're all fine actors and actresses in their own right.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. It's literally the way I think that it's written. And
I
for
don't
me,
like
it's
the
the
laugh
forced
track.
canned laughter. It's bad,
Yeah,
man.
I don't like the laugh track.
But it also makes me wonder if, like, okay, Cheers, was that really, I mean, that was really filmed in front of a live studio audience, and so was Seinfeld. And now
so
I
was
know
Friends.
all those shows have applause lights
Yeah.
that tell you when you're supposed to laugh and cheer and shit. And I understand that you're not going to get like the first take, so people's responses might be a little canned after it. I think Golden Girls might have been one that was also filmed partially in front of a studio audience. Either way, I think we've lost that. I think that it was just too pushed. It reminded me of the same kind of, and this might not even be Chuck Lorre's fault because I don't know who writes for the show, but a lot of the jokes fall flat, and it was a lot like that on his other show that was on Netflix. I don't know if it was on TV, but it was the weed one.
Yeah.
I wanted to like that too. And like
I
2.5
did,
Men
too.
is a pretty good program.
And I mean, you've got some great actors in Weed, or what was it called?
Dispensary something. I don't know.
Disjointed.
Disjointed. That was it.
Yep.
Oh, you got the fucking great A-level actors, actresses, some very great people in there. And it's the same with the show Mom. That has some good life lessons, and I find myself laughing at it more. But there's also, I cringe a lot at it. And it's like even watching back some 2.5 Men, but there's still a lot of times I actually laugh out loud. And I think it was the luck of having good writers and Charlie Sheen. I'm sorry, but his comedic delivery, he's especially with that kind of role, and then his fucking silly little brother, fucking what's his name there,
John Cryer.
Yeah, and then the kid. I mean, it was a combination, and I think that's what makes a good show work. You could have 2/3 of a show. You could have the great actors and actresses and great set design and a great premise, but man, it comes down to those writers. And I think that's where, and that's great that the problems are accurate, and I'm sure the science behind everything they talk about is accurate, but I think they forced the jokes to be more smart than they should have been, maybe, and then with the canned laughter, not everyone's going to get the joke, and it's not that I don't even get the jokes, I just don't find a lot of it funny, and where people are laughing, and I'm finding myself going, why am I not laughing?
Are we laughing?
And why should we be laughing? My brain just gets like, because again, they're all fine actors and actresses. I think they're great. Even the dude, he annoys the shit out of me, Sheldon, there. His character annoys the shit out of me, and it should. I think that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, that is the point.
And I've watched a bit of young Sheldon before as well.
I like young Sheldon a lot more.
I like it better.
Big Bang Theory.
I like it more.
Yeah, a lot more.
I don't think it's great, but I also like seeing Annie Potts.
Yep.
She's great in it,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The kid's good. He plays a great fucking young version of him. Like, the kid's great. The kids are great.
Yeah,
I think there's another
mom
kid
and
or
dad
two.
are really good,
Mom
too.
and dad are great. Yep, the dad especially. But I also feel like there were episodes of The Big Bang Theory where he made his parents off to be like really horrible people and worse than what I'm seeing on young Sheldon. It's almost like they toned it down because I thought his
Yeah,
mom was supposed to be a
absolutely.
lot worse than she is, and she's not great in some of the episodes that I've seen. Like she doesn't necessarily treat him great, but she doesn't know how to treat him. Then there's show. I'm like, I thought his mom was supposed to be like a wicked witch,
No, actually, because I've seen Big
or it was
Bang
his
Theory and I've
dad.
seen both. Their representation of the mom in both are actually pretty accurate.
Okay.
They're both very close. But the dad is definitely not as crazy as he was supposed to be from Big Bang Theory. In Big Bang Theory, they make him out to be like this guy who was drinking constantly, was always getting into like bar fights, was,
Right.
never doing good by the family,
Right.
things like that. But when it comes down to it, when you watch Young Sheldon, he's this guy who's very charismatic for his family. You know, passionate about what he does. He does drink, but he's not this total degenerate.
And maybe that's part of whatever Sheldon's genius is, whether it's being on a spectrum or whatever, is that he doesn't see his dad for who he really is. He only sees the negative for whatever reason. And maybe that is the point that young Sheldon is trying to make. That his dad was just a normal fucking dude, maybe a little bit over the top, but he wasn't as bad as he thought because Sheldon's just always been a certain way. I don't know.
I don't know.
Where the fuck? How do we? This road, man. This oddcast. We get all over the place.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I don't know how we get here sometimes.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean
I'm
that.
done talking about Big Bang Theory.
But
though.
that leads me up to
Moving on.
exactly what I've been pissed off about the last couple days, and it's shitty writing in TV and movies these days. The fact that people can't come up with a semi original thought anymore. The fact that we have to endure with, and I think it comes down to what I was talking about earlier. Movie studios pushing out more than what they used to in the 80s and 90s, trying to be competitive. I think the entire entertainment arts in terms of audio visual quests, movies of sorts or TV, we've lost out, man. It's not great anymore, and I'm really pissed off that so many great shows were canned because they either cost too much or not enough people were watching, because we become such a moment to moment kind of and that's not the proper terminology, but we become like minute to minute even. We're ingesting things in such small doses because of our phones, little videos,
Yeah.
reels,
Absolutely.
whatever, that our attention isn't held by certain things. And I think that we're watching as a whole, and I'm not saying we're, because you and I are not watching the Kardashians. I've never seen an episode. But there's trashier and trashier television on right now that people are watching, and that's actually taking away.
Bachelorette, this, that, and
This is
reality
exactly
TV thing, this and that, The Circle,
Exactly. A bunch of circle jerks is more like what it is. And so there's a lot more interest going into these little bite-sized things that you can pay more, not as close attention to, like those types of reality shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, and there's so many channels that you're losing your Nielsen rating or whatever, you're losing viewers. So it's like we had some really great shows that have come by and gone by the wayside because people didn't watch them. And what's even worse is that there's the internet companies like Amazon and Prime, Video, and Netflix and Hulu and all these other places that are now making their own content. And for whatever reason, the way they measure their metrics is, I'm assuming, by uptick in monthly rentals, monthly subscription fees, as well as watch hours, blah 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 blah. And I think that because of this, entertainment is stretched so thin that we're canceling very good projects that people just haven't had time to catch up with because there is too much out there. And a lot of it, you have to sift through a lot of shit to find some of the hidden gems. It seems.
And another thing, you're starting to see more like animated shows that are taking over, and it's good writing because they're really exploring new terrain.
Yep.
They're open to so many options, like Rick and Morty. There's literally an infinite amount of options that they can go with any storyline. and still tie things back together again.
I just caught up on the last 2 episodes that finally came out because they took a little hiatus, a little bit over the middle of the season. And the last 2 episodes, one of them was, and I'm not going to spoil, but there was something about writers involved. And it goes to show that you can still be original and meta and really kind of expose the type. Because like when I started going into She-Hulk tonight, I'd read so many bad things online. I didn't think the writing was going to be good. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was fresh and inventive, and it was a good way and use of the character, the breaking the fourth wall, which if I remember correctly, she did in the She-Hulk comics. Like this was like and I'm not saying everything that Marvel puts out is amazing
with a lot of things,
but like there's a reason like Scorsese again, and I think oh damn it, Tarantino were just recently bitching again about the Marvel Onyx or the Marvel not Marvel Comics but the Marvel Onyx of cinema or whatever they use the terminology, and they were bitching about it again. But it's not that they've got a perfect formula, but they're really trying to stretch how they're delivering entertainment instead of it being copy shit. The phases were great. The phases I'm not feeling super excited for right now. I don't know really what's coming, but if there's new X-Men, that better be good.
They have a plan, and they come up with new ideas and how to express these different plans and introduce new characters, bring out getting rid of old characters because the guy can't play Iron Man his whole life, dude.
And that's the thing too. I mean, if they could only make the movies faster, but again, that's another thing. They took their time and made them right before they released them. And I think that's another problem we're running into all the time now is that it's like, oh, we're over budget. We need to release. And of course, COVID fucked up the way movies were made anyway. But there's just nothing recently that there's 2 movies that I've seen previews for recently that I'm actually very interested in seeing. This fucking horror holiday one where Santa has to kick people's ass, starring with the guy from fucking Stranger Things.
Yep.
I want to see that. It's probably campy and bad, but it looks great. It looks
it looks like it's going to be like a cult classic kind of thing. Like
and there's
Crazy
this
Big Lebowski.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit,
And then there's this one coming out where this little girl doesn't have any friends, and she's given like this AI replicant bot that is supposed to protect her, but the bot takes it too far, and she's like doing these dancing spin kick fucking moves, and I was like, this looks fucking creepy and fucked up. I want to see this.
Yeah. Willow, I'm kind of digging that show right now. Yep. I'm very excited to see where they take that.
I gotta rewatch because by the time we started talking earlier, we were only like 10 or 15 minutes in, but I'm gonna re-ingest that tomorrow and see what I feel.
Yeah, same.
It's kind of throwing me off that Peter Parker's friend is in it. Not friend, but frenemy.
Oh yeah, Flash.
Flash, yep. I'm like, why do I know? Oh, I know why I know this guy.
Yeah. When did he grow a mustache?
Yeah. Now you're part of the Disney family now, motherfucker. But and then I want to watch Andor.
Yeah.
I want to try that, but it's like, I don't know. It's just disappointing. I feel like we're giving all the wrong people the money to make movies these days, and that the studios are making them. I understand the profit is always going to be, you're a business, you're trying to thrive, you're trying to make payments, you're trying to pay people. But I wish that they would take a little more, less calculated risks, like more straight up risks.
Yeah.
Give some people some new voices, a little more direction, and let's see what we can come up with, because right now I feel like a lot of what we have is rehashed bullshit. And not to say that any of these movies that I'm excited for coming out are going to be, replicant doll protects child, reverse child's play anyway, I mean, these aren't new ideas, but it's a new way to do it. Like, Hardcore Henry. Did you ever watch that movie? It was the whole movie that took place from first person perspective.
I haven't seen it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's not a flawless movie, but it's so good because it's so different.
Who plays Henry?
I have no fucking clue. I don't know if you ever see him. I've only watched it once or twice, but I just recently found it for $4.99 on Vudu, or $5.99 or $6.99, and I was like, it's worth another shot. It's worth another watch. Not even shot. I don't need to give another shot. I know I enjoyed watching it the first time. I'm like, especially to watch it on my 55 with the fucking 144 fucking hertz or whatever, the fucking nice fluid motion that my last 4K TV didn't have. That real weird fluid motion that these newer TVs have, that this could be fucking fun, or it's going to make me feel physically ill.
Yeah.
It's a lot of first person motion, but when I watched it the first time, it wasn't bad. But then, you got the Super Mario movie coming out. Just new trailer came out the other day, yesterday, I believe. Looks great. Looks amazing.
Really? Huh. Cool.
Yeah. Well, man, I think we've done a good amount on this podcast. I think we can
I'd say so.
See y'all next time on episode 4, but this was episode 3 of the Oddcast of the podcast. With me is Bubba.
Hi, I'm Bubba.
And me. And I'm Josh. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in or watching from wherever you are. Let us know that you're watching or listening with a comment one of these days.
Hi, Mom.
You might be able to say something back. Hi, Bubba's mom.